When reading or watching reviews, usually the only information you can find is the 11,610-pound towing capacity and 2,360-pound payload, so you must check out these 5 critical secrets that determine whether you'll actually get these numbers or not. If you're tired of buying trucks based on advertised specs only to discover your expensive rig can't handle the loads you need it for, these hidden configuration requirements will save you from a costly mistake. Most buyers choose popular luxury trims thinking they're getting maximum capability, but some fully loaded Ram 1500s can only carry 897 pounds of payload despite costing over $70,000. Number 5. More power doesn't mean better towing capacity. Picture yourself at the boat launch watching other truck owners struggle to pull their trailers up that steep ramp while you effortlessly handle the same load. The difference isn't always about having the most powerful engine. You'd naturally assume that Ram's 540 horsepower Hurricane high-output engine would dominate towing tasks, but the standard Hurricane inline 6 with 420 horsepower actually delivers superior towing numbers. Here's the frustration that catches buyers off guard. They pay extra for maximum horsepower, but then discover their expensive upgrade actually reduced their truck's capability. The standard output Hurricane is going to tow up to 11,610 pounds when properly configured, but the high output variant maxes out at only 9,920 pounds of towing capacity, therefore creating a significant gap between expectation and reality. The high output engine carries extra hardware for its increased performance, but the problem is that it's reserved for specific configurations that don't put focus on towing all that much. Therefore, while you're getting more horsepower under the hood, you're actually losing towing capacity where it matters most. The standard Hurricane strikes the perfect balance, delivering 469 pound-feet of torque that's more than adequate for maximum towing without the weight penalty. But here's where things get even more counterintuitive. The engine that delivers maximum towing isn't the same one that maximizes your hauling capacity. Number 4. Want max payload? Choose Pentastar. Nothing's more frustrating than loading your truck for a big project only to discover you've exceeded your payload limit before you've gotten all your materials loaded. The 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 with e-torque is actually going to deliver the highest payload capacity in the entire 2026 Ram 1500 lineup at 2,360 pounds. Meanwhile, those powerful Hurricane engines that everyone wants are going to significantly reduce your payload potential. Here's why this matters. Imagine you're a contractor loading concrete bags, tools, and equipment. With the Pentastar V6, you can load nearly 2,400 pounds of materials without worrying about exceeding limits. But choose that Hurricane engine instead, and your payload drops to 1,980 pounds, or even 1,380 pounds with the high output variant. The payload equation is simple. Your truck's gross vehicle weight rating minus its curb weight equals your available payload. The Pentastar V6 is going to weigh considerably less than either Hurricane variant, therefore leaving more room within your GVWR for actual cargo. This weight penalty becomes dramatic when you realize the Pentastar lets you load a full pallet of materials without second-guessing limits, while that high-output Hurricane forces you into careful calculations and potentially multiple trips. The V6 delivers 305 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque, plus an additional 90 pound-feet from the e-torque system, more than enough power for most hauling tasks while maintaining maximum payload capacity. But choosing the right engine is only half the battle. If you pick the wrong cab and bed combination, you're going to sacrifice capability you can't afford to lose. Number 3. The right body style. Every contractor knows the frustration of trying to fit full sheets of plywood in a truck bed that's just inches too short, forcing you to drive with the tailgate down. Your cab and bed configuration is going to dramatically impact both towing and payload numbers. The quad cab with a 6-foot 4-inch bed and rear-wheel drive is going to deliver the absolute maximum capabilities, therefore making it the ideal choice for work-focused buyers. The quad cab is going to weigh less than the popular crew cab, therefore preserving more payload capacity for your actual cargo instead of wasting it on unnecessary cabin weight. The longer 6-foot 4-inch bed is going to handle full sheets of plywood flat, therefore eliminating the need for tailgate down hauling that creates visibility issues and potential road hazards. When you're comparing configurations, the weight differences become substantial. A crew cab is going to add several hundred pounds compared to the quad cab, therefore reducing your available payload. But if you need maximum passenger comfort, the crew cab with 5 feet 7 inches bed represents the best compromise. You're getting full-size rear seating without the weight penalty of the longer anchor bed. For maximum towing capacity, the quad cab configuration is going to support the highest numbers because it maintains the lowest curb weight. But if you're regularly carrying passengers, the reduced rear seat space might become a problem, therefore requiring you to choose between maximum capability and daily usability. And speaking of choices that affect capability, there's one drivetrain decision that could cost you hundreds of pounds of capacity without most buyers even realizing it. Number 2. Four-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. Picture yourself at the scale house, watching the attendant shake their head as your loaded truck and trailer combination exceeds legal weight limits, all because you chose the wrong drivetrain configuration. Rear-wheel drive configurations are going to deliver higher towing and payload numbers across the board, therefore making them the clear choice for work-focused applications. The four-wheel drive system is going to add substantial weight through its transfer case, front drive shaft, and front differential assembly. This additional hardware typically adds 200 to 300 pounds to your truck's curb weight, therefore directly reducing your available payload by the same amount. But the impact on towing is equally significant. That extra weight is going to reduce your gross combined weight rating, therefore limiting how much trailer you can legally pull. The practical reality becomes clear when you're planning a major equipment move. That four-wheel drive system might seem appealing for its versatility, but it's actually costing you several hundred pounds of capability that could be the difference between making your haul in one trip versus multiple trips. Four-wheel drive is going to provide superior traction for slippery roads and off-road job sites. But if your primary focus is hauling maximum loads or towing the heaviest possible trailers, rear-wheel drive is going to deliver superior numbers every time. The traction advantage of four-wheel drive becomes less relevant when you're towing heavy trailers because that tongue weight is going to provide significant traction over the rear axle. For buyers who work in challenging conditions with muddy job sites or boat launches, the four-wheel drive system might be worth the capability penalty. The key is understanding you're making a trade-off, choosing versatility over maximum numbers, therefore accepting reduced towing and payload capacity for improved all-weather performance. But even if you choose the perfect drivetrain and body configuration, there's one decision that could completely destroy your truck's capability, regardless of every other choice you make right. Number 1. The right trim. Imagine spending $70,000 on a beautiful Ram 1500 Limited, loaded with every luxury feature available, but when you try to load your work equipment, you discover your expensive truck can only carry 897 pounds of payload, less than many small crossovers. The Tradesman trim is going to deliver the highest payload and towing numbers, but the popular luxury trims are going to fall dramatically short of maximum specifications. The payload reality is shocking when you examine actual door jamb stickers. A fully loaded tungsten trim is going to provide only 1,035 pounds of payload capacity. The limited trim typically delivers around 1,340 pounds. These numbers represent a devastating loss of capability that makes these expensive trucks practically useless for serious work applications. Every premium feature is stealing payload capacity from your actual cargo. That massive 14.5-inch touchscreen and additional 10.25-inch passenger display are also adding weight. The power-adjusting massaging seats, premium sound system, and extensive wiring for advanced electronics are all consuming your payload capacity, therefore creating a fundamental conflict between luxury and capability. The Tradesman trim is going to maximize your capabilities because it starts with the lowest curb weight. When you pair it with the Pentastar V6 and rear-wheel drive configuration, you're getting that maximum 2,370-pound payload capacity. But if you need maximum towing, the Tradesman with Hurricane standard output and 3.92 rear axle ratio is going to deliver the full 11,610-pound towing capacity. Off-road trims like the Rebel and RHO might seem appealing, but they're optimized for the capability you might never use while sacrificing the capability you actually need. The RHO is going to max out at only 8,380 pounds of towing capacity and 1,520 pounds of payload. All that specialized suspension and heavy-duty tires are adding weight, therefore reducing the truck's hauling and towing potential. Now, here's what you need to remember. Maximum towing belongs to the Hurricane standard output with rear-wheel drive in a quad cab, but maximum payload requires the Pentastar V6 in the same configuration. The Tradesman trim is going to deliver both scenarios without the weight penalty of luxury features, but choosing a limited or tungsten could cut your payload in half, despite costing twice as much. Most importantly, that four-wheel drive system might seem practical, but it's going to cost you 200 to 300 pounds of capability every single time, therefore making rear-wheel drive the clear choice for maximum numbers. The biggest mistake you can make is assuming that more expensive means more capable. In the Ram 1500 lineup, the opposite is often true. The 2026 Ram 1500 remains an excellent choice for a full-size truck, but things are soon about to become even better as the company is bringing the legendary Hemi V8 back. If you thought that the era of massive V8s was over, this move clearly says Ram is not done with the Hemi yet. Therefore, make sure to check out our review of the upcoming V8 model and find out everything it brings to the table.